And welcome back to another episode of Across the Board. Back, it is Thursday, December 18th, and we got a couple of different sports we got to talk about today. NFL and CFB. Talk about CFB a lot, but not much else to talk about. That's
It's that time of year, man. It's that
filled
time of
with
year.
yeah. But first, we'll talk about the NFL. And what the playoff picture looks like right now. I actually got a great game going on right this second. Probably the wildest 2-point conversion I've ever seen in my life.
Still don't know how to. I didn't look like a backward pass to me, but
Well, it never went forward, so classified as a backwards pass. But yeah, we'll start there, and we'll talk about what the playoff picture looks like right second after week 15. So let me pull that up, and so we can show that. Alrighty. Should be popping up. Yep. So, you see the playoff picture, Easton?
yeah, I got it on my area too. I got my thing pulled up as well.
Top two teams here in both the AFC and NFC. Obviously, in the AFC, we got the Broncos at 12-2. They play the Jaguars this week. Should be a good game. I don't know when they play.
Yeah, good Jacksonville team,
but should be a great game to watch. Yeah, they for sure. I think they've only gotten better. And then obviously the Rams and Seahawks are playing right now. Definitely great game.
What a game. Dude, that's been a freaking awesome game. So, and they got Seattle this week.
It's been good.
And I mean,
Matthews.
The NFC West is the NFC West is up for grabs right now, honestly. I mean, with them, Seattle, and even the San Francisco having a chance to get a spot. So I'm interested to see how that all plays out between those three teams.
Yeah, true. San Francisco could still go 13-4 and potentially get the 1 seed. So yeah, it's still up to grabs. Matthew Stafford, just want to shout out Matthew Stafford finally passing Phillip Rivers in 7th all-time passing yards. Just need Phillip Rivers to throw like 250 on Monday and get it right back, right?
Yeah,
that would be quite the that would be quite the turn of events there. But then we go on to who's in the hunt in each of these conferences, and obviously 2 through 4 here on both sides. Obviously, the Patriots are right behind the Broncos there in the AFC at 11-3, winning the AFC East. They're a lock for the playoffs, obviously. Great game this last week at Buffalo. Quite a game. They were up though a lot. Gave up that game basically. Buffalo played great ball there in the second half, and in the first half they finally got something kind of going. But they did end up pulling out the win there, which is a great win for Buffalo. They needed it. And, I mean, hey, Patriots are going to lose some of those games, obviously, but they're a good team. They can, their run game was great, but just couldn't get it done.
It still boggles my mind, being a Raiders fan, how we managed to beat this team week 1. That is it's true. Not a knock on or anything. I'm sitting here trying to process. I'm in my mind seeing this Raiders team now. I just obviously irrelevant. I'm just wondering how on this earth did we beat them. But New England's played well this season. Drake May,
same thing.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, this New England team's been awesome. I mean, Drake May's playing well, I'm excited to see what they can do. Finally seeing them back. They had a couple a little rough patch, but they're back with Mike Vrabel and Josh McDaniels leading the team. They're going to be a good team. So they play Baltimore this weekend. A team trying to see if they can sneak in a last spot in the AFC North. For sure.
Yeah, but it should be a good game.
And I kind of want to go to the I want to go to the NFC for a minute because I want to look at 2, 3, and 4. Because I mean, the big surprise, of course, being the Chicago Bears this year, doing what they've been doing.
For sure.
They've been playing well. Caleb Williams' group. My big concern for them, and it kind of has been all season, is their run defense. The run defense hasn't been all that well. One of the bottom run defenses in the NFL. But what they've been able to do all around is impressive. And, of course, Ben Johnson leading the way for them. Incredible. And they have a chance to win the NFC North, which if you would have told me that at the beginning of the season, I would have thought you were crazy, if I'm being completely honest. And then Philadelphia
they sit atop.
Got a nice comeback. Got a nice, not comeback, but a nice bounce back win against the Raiders.
A much
quite needed. Easy. And they play the Commanders this weekend, who I know we don't know for sure, but we thought Jay Nails might sit the rest of the season. I don't know if that's confirmed or not.
He is. Marcus Mariota is going to start the rest of the season.
Okay, well that's confirmed. But so Eagles see if they can take control of the NFC East and win the division, and then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Carolina Panthers race. So keep in mind these two teams will play twice this season. Twice to end the season. They have 3 weeks left. They'll both play each other twice. I believe Tampa is going to play Miami as one of their other. Is their non?
Maybe
as their non Carolina game, I think, or that may be. I'm trying to think who they're not going to play because I think. Let's see. Yeah, so Buccaneers have Miami after this week. And then I think Carolina plays let's see. And Carolina's going to play the Seattle Seahawks. So
I think just want to mention that the thicker kicker just missed a kick.
Melvis, the guy from Missouri? Is the guy I'm thinking of?
Yeah. Mevis just missed a kick for the Rams. Mevis. So it's still tied with 2 minutes left. So,
but you look at the path of these two teams. I feel, but I feel like if you're the Carolina, I feel like obviously we never know. The NFL's been crazy this year, and Carolina beat the Rams. But right now it seems like Tampa might have. I wouldn't really say the upper hand, but may have a little more control schedule-wise.
Honestly, I don't even know though. They both kind of just give it up. They lose games that they shouldn't lose to. I mean, they both lost to the Saints. The Carolina has lost to the Saints twice this year. It's 2 of 4 wins that the Saints have, and the Saints also beat Tampa Bay as well.
I think it was wrong for me to say, Tampa has an upper hand. I mean, I think it's going to be very even out. I mean, because here's the thing. I think, obviously, to make this easier on themselves, whoever wins, if they can win both the games, whichever team does it, well, they'll get the spot, obviously. But it's very interesting seeing these two teams play. Tampa got a terrible loss. I mean, I'd say a terrible loss to Atlanta. A game they had full control over, I feel like, and they should have been able to control it. But they didn't. But I think that's going to be a fun race to watch between this weekend and the following weeks after.
Well, and you see here that if they lose this weekend, obviously their current percentage is 78% to make, but if they lose this weekend, it goes down to 56. Obviously, it'll come down to that last matchup of them and Carolina for who wins the NFC South, if that's the case.
So if they both finish 9, go ahead.
Go ahead. No,
I was gonna say if they both manage to finish 9-8, let's say I don't. If I remember, if they both take 1-1, if they go 1-1, both finish 9-8, pending they win their Week 17 games. I don't know who would have
best win percentage. It's best win percentage of teams that they've played, and it would be Tampa.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Because I was looking at this, I think based off what I'm seeing here, I guess Carolina's also 7-7, but and their current playoff percentage is 22%. So, but I think
right now Bucks have the upper hand. In that,
and I'm just very interested to see how that all plays out for them.
True. Yeah, it'll be interesting, and it should be 2 good games there. Obviously, playing for the South title there, and basically to get into the playoff. Another team, though, that you see here that obviously we've already talked about Jacksonville. They're pretty much already in the playoff. So you talk about another team here who has a lower chance, say a 50-50 chance, if they lose this weekend with the Steelers. And they play Detroit. And obviously right now their current percentage is 60%. But with a win, it goes up to 76%. And if they lose, it goes down to 54%. I mean, the Bears, Detroit needs it. So, they need a win.
And keep in mind, too, that Detroit's on the bubble right now at 8-6. Yeah. So, with that being said, I mean, their current, playoff percentage is 36, and even being Pitt this week, they'll go up to 45. So, they got a big matchup to play this week. Ravens on the outside looking in. They play a good New England team this week. So both teams got a tough matchup to play. So I think, that's another fun thing we're going to be watching divisional-wise. So I think that's going to be something.
I think, honestly, you look at all the teams on the bubble right now, and they all play a tough matchup this week. I mean,
they do.
You look at the Colts, they have a 12% right now, current odds. And they play San Francisco, who's obviously still searching for that number one spot in the NFC. And if the Colts lose, they go down to a 6%. Obviously, Phillip Rivers starting for them still on Monday. So I did see, though, that they are starting the process of getting Anthony Richardson back today.
And
that'll be interesting. I was just
going to bring that up, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because I saw the same thing. I read the same thing earlier today, so I didn't know if that was still the case, if there's a chance they would try and get him back to start or what they would do there.
I guess maybe – I think it's like a 24-day process, though, or 21-day process. It's like a 3-week thing. So I think it would be more like getting him back for the playoffs if they were to get there. But I think in that case, if they do get to the playoffs, then you might as well just start Phillip Rivers because, I mean, I don't know. But obviously they've got to beat San Francisco this week to kind of have that chance. With a win, they go to 24%. But then you look, obviously, like we said, the Lions with Pittsburgh this week, tough matchup there. And then the Ravens with New England, that'll be a tough matchup for sure. You see right now their current percentage is 40% to make the playoff. If they lose, though, it goes to 28%.
Dallas still with a chance. They have the Chargers this week.
Yeah. A small one at that. They're below 1%. And then even with the win, they're at 2% to make. But it's still a chance. Hey, it's not zero.
Exactly. Before we move on to anything, I do want to talk about a team real quick. Can we just talk about how good Houston's been?
I was just about to say, yeah. It was because obviously right now their current odds are they're 96% to make it, and if they win this week against Las Vegas, which I mean, kind of got to put it to them. But if they win this week against Las Vegas, they're basically.
I thought if Geno starts, bro.
Well, hey,
it's brutal. It's a brutal situation in Las Vegas, Nevada.
True, that's for sure. I don't know how they're that bad.
And it's funny. It's the best defense versus the worst offense. So, I can only imagine that the Raiders put up another donut this week.
Yeah. But you really just you look at this whole playoff picture and you look at the percentages of who can make it, and really you kind of look at it and go, the only things with the toss-ups here is the Bucks and the Steelers. Honestly, like as of right the second, unless something goes kind of haywire, those are the two teams that really have obviously the lowest chance of making the playoffs still, and that's not above like 70%. And you have two teams in the AFC and three teams in the NFC that could still fill those spots. Really, two in the NFC. The Cowboys could be eliminated this weekend, and that's really it. If Tampa Bay were to win, they're basically in. And unless they go and lose their last two games, with the Lions there, they can't lose this weekend. If they lose it, they're pretty much out of it. And same thing with the two teams on the AFC side. They've both got to win, and even with wins, they're still not close to getting in. So I wouldn't say they're pretty much set, but it's pretty close to it.
And we talk about the divisional matchups. We know Carolina and Tampa play twice. Baltimore and Pittsburgh will both play each other one more time. For Pittsburgh's remaining schedule, they got Detroit, Cleveland, and they'll play Baltimore one more time. So, I mean, in that case, they've got to they don't have an easy route, and they're going to play Cleveland and the divisional opponent, who's Shedeur Sanders is, give it to him credit, been playing pretty well.
Well, and then you look at Baltimore. Well, but they still can't. They still can't win games.
They can, but I'll tell you this: that their young roster is really good, man. Mason Graham, Harold Fannin, Quinshon Judkins, Shedeur Sanders, just that entire group, even more guys. Yeah, and then for Baltimore, their remaining schedule, they've got to play New England, Green Bay, and Pittsburgh. So they're going to have to put together 3 weeks of good football, and they got prime time Sunday night at 7:20. So that's going to be a huge game for them, I think.
Yeah,
they definitely have the hardest path to get there for sure.
I mean, not easy for sure.
They've got a tough road.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see. I think most of, like I was saying, if a few teams win this weekend, the playoffs are pretty much in locks of who's going to make it, who's not. At least it'll be pretty close to it. So, we'll see this weekend. And obviously right now, still great game, 30-30 with the Rams in Seattle. Right now the Rams are on the 49-yard line and are dropping passes. So they're trying to make a game-winning drive, but they can't catch anything. Did want to mention, though, Puka Nacua just had his third 150-plus receiving yard game. Most other than CeeDee Lamb in one season. In the season. So, yeah. Amazing for him. Kind of saw it coming, though, obviously. And, well, we can we'll keep checking on that game if anything changes, but we'll move on to
that'll be big for the
some other. Go ahead.
I was just asking me big for the number 1 seed in the NFC. That's going to be a big game.
Yeah.
Let's get on to our
missed a pass, so it's 4th and 10 for them, so it'll be difficult. But yeah, we'll move on to CFB now, and we've got a little bit of talk about tonight. Let's first talk about the transfer portal, which has been big news, obviously, around everything in college football, of who's going to go where, who's going to enter, all of it. More names by the day joining, and who knows who could be joining tomorrow. It could be anybody. So
it just grows every day.
Exactly. Just want to mention some big names that have gone in since Monday when we did our last podcast. Earlier, not too long ago, you had sent it to me. Josh Hoover entered the transfer portal, TCU's quarterback. He played pretty well this season, I believe. He's not a bad player.
They were honestly a really solid team. I think he just played a sophomore year this year. That I may be totally off with that. But he was a solid guy at TCU. Obviously, with I'm forgetting his face.
He is a junior.
Junior, okay. Yeah, because
yeah.
I just saw I was actually just scrolling, trying to take a look at everything, and I saw it popped up in my face that Josh Hoover was planning in the transfer portal. So that's a big name. Yeah, I think he'll be a good pickup for whoever takes him. And I think it was interesting. His the OC went to South Carolina that they had. So interesting to see. I don't know. That's more of an assumption. I don't really know if he'll follow the steps, especially with Lenora Sellers being there still. But that's just a big name I saw today.
Yeah. I don't know if he'll follow. I don't know if he'll follow South Carolina because of what you said with Lenoris being there, and he could easily start somewhere else. He's a good enough quarterback. He threw for just under 3,500 yards this year, which is 6th in the nation, and 29 touchdowns, which is also 6th in the nation. And he had a 73.2 QBR, which was 28th. So he was pretty good this year. Obviously, all things considered, he's a good quarterback. I believe, obviously, he would have one more season remaining on eligibility wise. If he is a senior this year, and so it would be interesting to see what exactly, where exactly he goes, because there's easily a team out there that could use him. He's good enough. So I don't know. But a couple other players that joined in. A big one, Chaz Coleman, defensive lineman for Penn State. That was a huge name that entered today. One of the best players in the nation. And well, he decided to jump into the portal. I think we can kind of imagine though where he probably will go. I mean, if we had to take a guess,
just a
I
slight
would
assumption.
imagine.
We can only guess.
I mean,
we don't know.
It might be difficult. There's a chance he goes to Sam Houston, I guess, but I'm pretty sure he's going to Virginia Tech. If I had to put a bet on it, but
never know, man.
Anything can happen. But that was a big one. The another linebacker that entered was Wendell Gregory for Oklahoma State. He was a 4-star when he got to Oklahoma State. He's not rated as that right now, but just another 4-star player that had entered that I saw. A couple of other ones, other like kind of big names. Mekhi Bourrier for Florida entered the transfer portal today. He did have a pick on the season. He's a defensive lineman, but he did have a pick on the season to beat Mississippi State earlier in the year.
I did see it. That was insane, dude. What a game!
If you remember that game,
that was insane.
It was. Speaking of Mississippi State, Kromenhoek, their quarterback, has entered the transfer portal. He's going to try to look for his third school in 3 years.
He was at, if I'm correct, he went FSU, Mississippi State.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then now
he's got to stay with he's got to stay with the states. I mean, Florida State, Mississippi State. He's got to stay with the states somewhere, right?
Colorado State.
I don't know.
Jackson State. I don't know. I'm trying to think of all the states, man. Oklahoma State.
Jackson State's got a good quarterback though in Creel. So I don't know if he'll go there, but yeah, you got to stay with the states. It'll be interesting to see what he does. Not the greatest quarterback this season per se. He didn't play all the games for them, but we'll see where he goes. A couple of other names that entered. Let's see. Other big quarterback from Mizzou, Bo Pribula, entered.
I was waiting for you to get there.
That will be, that's the big one too. The other big, entering into the transfer portal today is
that kind of surprised me a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, at least I thought so. It was kind of interesting to see that he would enter the portal because I don't know. I thought he had a good thing going at Mizzou. Mizzou hasn't been bad the last few years, so for him to enter is kind of interesting. But was he not hurt though during the season?
Well, he got hurt. I want to say Vanderbilt game, and when he got taken over. I don't remember the backup, but the backup came in and played pretty well. He ended up getting a couple more starts after that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if something happened there. Yeah. Obviously, that's just speculation by any means. Mm-hmm. We don't know for sure, but I don't know if something happened there, or maybe he's just like, hey, I left Penn State, left Mizzou. We'll see where I can go next. But we'll just see when the time gets there.
He is a senior, so he only has he will only have 1 year left. He threw for 2,000 yards this year, 11 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. So not great, but obviously he can go be good somewhere. Somebody can use him. I mean, we'll just see where that might be or who that might be that'll take that chance on him again. Justin Lowe for Oregon, wide receiver, entered the transfer portal as well. And then the other quarterback, though, mentioning the Big Ten, is Justin Martin from Maryland that entered. It'll be interesting to see where he goes. Trying to just think of some other ones that entered since.
They're just, I'll tell you Monday. One thing, man, just like the coaching carousel, it seemed like the big old quarterback carousel in that portal, man. I think I'm interested to see where everybody, I mean, a lot of names have entered between the past few days, and a lot of speculation.
Yeah, well, now think about that. I don't think it had happened on Monday, but Drew Mestemaker for North Texas, their quarterback, obviously. That's a big name to, enter into the portal there.
Yeah, somebody could definitely. There's a bunch of big names for sure. This is not in the transfer portal news, but I did want to point out something today I saw a couple hours ago, and I don't know if it's 100% true. Will Muschamp leaving Georgia to take on the Texas DC job.
Yes, he will. I saw that. Texas fired their DC and then basically directly then hired Will Muschamp. So, that'll be. I
was like, I saw that too. I was like, oh well, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I could say it could be a good hire. But I thought Texas's defense was not bad this year. So
I didn't think so either. But
that's really what kept them in the games. So I'm kind of surprised by that.
I am too. I was on the same boat. I wouldn't say their offense wasn't bad by any means. I just thought, that defense played a big role. The offense had its times here and there. I thought week one, Ohio State, I thought the defense kept them in the game. I thought there were a lot of times the defense kept them in the game a lot of the time. So I don't know what went on there, but that's interesting. I mean, you fire DC and take a direct hit at Will Muschamp. So that's interesting hire for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I really thought, their offense was lackluster for the first 5 weeks, 5-6 weeks, and then their that's the defense is what kept them in. So for him to be fired was kind of surprising. I don't know if there's something there. Obviously, we've seen some quarterbacks be fired for other things other than just performance. So I don't know if that's another one of those cases or what. I guess we'll find out in due time of what has happened with that. I did kind of want to go back to Drew Mestemaker going to the portal. He did lead the country in passing yards this year and was second in the country in touchdowns. So he's also a freshman. So he has 3 years to play somewhere. And that's the big deal when you can get a guy as good as this, who's, has this many years left. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see where he goes. But there is kind of an inkling to going to Oklahoma State because his coach left North Texas to go to Oklahoma State.
That's what I was about to say. That's what I was about to say. I'm like, well, he'll probably, I was going to ask you. I think he'll end up there. Well, the guy, the great coach and quarterback who, again, freshman year doing what he did was really impressive. So I think, again, I think that Oklahoma State team, especially Oklahoma State looking to kind of rebound the program. I feel like obviously the past few years have not been the best, but I think they'll have a little rebound, and we'll see if this team can change.
Oh yeah, it'll be good for them to get a guy like that if they can. I see no reason why they can't since his coach did go there. So I would imagine more than likely they'll have a good saying in whether or not he will end up there. But like we said, we'll see kind of what happens and where he goes. I know I did want to. I'm just looking at the top 10 transfers in the portal right now, and Karius Kern from LSU O-lineman had entered. And that's a big name.
Yeah, the offensive line had its struggles, man. I mean, obviously, I watched a lot of the games. It was brutal. You could say a lot of different things. Nussmeier, O line. I think it can go both ways. Again, I think a lot of talent at the offensive line position, but I think the big thing is, I look at being able to play together. This
Yeah.
the first. I mean, this was a whole new group from last year. Their
Sure.
one returner last year, Chester, I think he got benched or he became a second string. So, you've kind of got a whole new O line coming in there. And I think another thing about that too, and I don't want to stay too long on the subject, but when you have you make a whole change on the offensive line. It's not that you had an NFL offensive line. 4 guys got drafted.
True. True.
So it's hard to, have the same expectation of, okay, well, let's do the same thing with this offensive line. It's hard to have that expectation, but great kid. I mean, wherever he goes, he's gonna make an impact right away.
For sure. It'll be interesting to see where he goes as well and what he can do in an offensive line that might need a guy. There's a lot of, obviously there's a lot of teams out there that could use a new offensive guard. And we'll see. On the opposite side of the ball, though, Mateen Ibaraganda, I'm probably butchering that name, for Wake Forest. He was pretty good this year. He should be a big pickup for somebody in the portal. We'll see where he goes. The other name is Nick Marsh from Michigan State, a wide receiver. He's also he could be a good pickup for some SEC team needing a receiver, and that could be
LSU,
potentially anybody.
LSU, maybe.
LSU. I couldn't tell you.
I did see someone projecting him to go there. I'd be nice. We seem to kind of have our way with we have Barian Brown, Nick Anderson. We brought some guys in last year, so maybe Nick Marsh, maybe.
Well, I mean, according to every single person that enters the transfer portal, y'all could be having a roster of like 120 people. So
that's true. Like the funny thing is like when like all the quarter like DJ Lagway, Sam Levitt hit the portal, Dylan Raiola, all we saw was LSU.
All LSU.
LSU
could be going to LSU. Like, well, yeah, y'all are just going to have 5 quarterbacks in your quarterback room. Like, why not?
Well, but interesting about that, a couple of guys, Johnson or it's either Johnson hit the portal, Colin Hurley hit the portal.
He did.
So now you got Michael Van Buren sitting on the roster. So it's going to be interesting to see. Do they rock with him as a starter?
And you know that Kiffin is going to go pick up somebody. I mean, he's going to go pick up somebody in the portal, and somebody is going to want to go there. Whether, say, I know there was reports that Kiffin wanted DJ, or obviously you have reports that maybe if Underwood were to enter the portal, maybe he'd go back to y'all or something like that.
I think that's a big thing too to pay attention to. I think for LSU, I saw a lot of people talking about it. If he enters the portal again, LSU was his first option.
It was
before going to Michigan. So with that being said, they're obviously waiting for the next hire. Will he stay? Will he go? That's a big name. Sam Levitt was another name. Has he still confirmed he hit the portal? Like it's confirmed, or no?
I don't think it's actually confirmed, but he is like 100% expected.
I've seen a lot of because honestly I've seen a lot of people posting about it and saying like like obviously his destination, but I'm still thinking like I don't know if sure he's even entered the portal yet. So I think that's that's interesting to see what will happen there. But I think a big name is Bryce Underwood. DJ Lagway was a name. I think there was Lane Kiffin reposted something about that, and that's why I kind of got everybody all riled up.
Yeah.
But
Sam Levitt has not entered the portal yet. It is reported, obviously, from Kenny Dillingham himself that he would enter. So I think that's why they pretty much already have him in the portal. That's been set that way. And then the last guy to round out the top, well, I mean, there's a lot of guys that have entered the portal. We could cover this all night. But another guy to end up the top 10 on, in On3's rankings of the top 10 players is Jay Crawford, cornerback from Auburn. He was good. He was a best cornerback, I believe. And so that'd be a good pickup for somebody. He is a sophomore too, so 2 years remaining. So a good one there. A couple of other guys that I could, mention. Hollywood Smothers from NC State, running back. Jabril Rawls, cornerback from FSU.
Jabril.
There's so many guys that have entered, and will only be more by the hour, the minute, the day, the week. So we'll just kind of see. Well, we'll kind of see what happens, where people go, and where people end up, and if any of those things start, they'll get figured out here in due time. Especially with all these bowl games going on, you also see a lot of guys that enter the portal right after the bowl game. Say there was a couple of USF players that entered after their bowl game.
Troy, receiver, did as well.
Yeah. So you'll see that happen as well.
Again, something we'll pay attention to going forward. But, I think we'll keep up with names. We'll see if people go places. But, I think we're now getting that time where we're ready to get to the what do they say, meat and potatoes? The show, what is it?
The meat of it, just the meat of the show here. I mean,
see, I don't know, man. You know how many sayings I've heard? I've heard it like 5 different ways, so I don't know.
Hey, well, like you're saying, though, I think it's time we move on to the most important thing this week or weekend that everybody's looking forward to in the college football world, and is the big, premiere for what's to come, is, the CFP playoff. So, obviously, games start tomorrow. The one game that starts tomorrow being Alabama and Oklahoma. I'll pull up the playoff bracket here so everybody can see it. And this is the top half of it. As you can see, the one game playing tomorrow at 7 is Alabama-Oklahoma. Obviously, Oklahoma hosting and favored by 1.5.
I'm excited to see this game. I think it's very anticipated. I think it's kind of funny. It's kind of two struggling offenses meeting. I think, I was talking about John Mateer and that offense, how bad recently they've been. We go to Alabama. The run game, obviously nothing that's been great. And then Ty Simpson, obviously we saw the reported injury, speculation that he's injured. We say a disc in his back.
I think
Is that right? Or what?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, a lot of questions there. But I think it's going to be an interesting game to see all around.
True.
We talk about the defenses. Oklahoma's defense, absolutely outstanding this year. Obviously, one of the top defenses in the country. Brent Venables' coach team. Going against, again, I think the story of this game is going to be defense. Oklahoma, again, outstanding defense. And then the Alabama offense.
Yeah.
And we talked about it. I think we talked about it earlier on when we had kind of looked at the games and kind of talked about, selection. Alabama's run game has got to get – I think if they want to win this game, it's got to get going.
Yeah.
Because we don't know – because, at this point, we don't really know what Ty Simpson's throwing ability is. We don't know how severe the injury really is. And – they got it going a little bit against Auburn. We saw what they were able to do. But I think for Alabama, they got to get the run game going. Yeah. And they've got to get it going and help out Ty Simpson and wear down the OU defense.
Yeah.
And I think Oklahoma the same.
Yeah.
Oklahoma offense the same thing. They've got to get going. They got to get firing off cylinders. Sure. And they've struggled as well.
I think as much as it is, what can Alabama's offense do? And obviously, we know if, for say, Ty Simpson is hurt and maybe has a little bit less of an ability to do what he has done, then that will be a big talking point, a big, clue of whether or not a clue on who could actually win this game. if it comes down to Ty Simpson having to throw the ball a ton or whatever. So we'll see kind of what that plays out on that end. But at the same time, you look at the other end of the ball and you go, well, Oklahoma is the best defense in the nation, and one of the best defenses in the nation. And if you do have a hurt quarterback in Ty Simpson, and your running game has been really lackluster, then yeah, you're going to have to make something available for him, or your offensive lineman's got to play, great football and make sure that the run game can kind of, jump out there. And so, we'll see what Alabama can do, but also you look at Oklahoma, same thing, kind of like their offense has been so bad, and that's been the talking point for them, is that yes, their defense is so good and it keeps them in games, but their offense cannot score. And I saw something the other day, was like, somebody was like, if Oklahoma can keep everybody to 20 points, then they could win the whole thing. Like, and I think that's true. It's kind of like, if Oklahoma's defense can keep teams to 20 points, if that's the magic number, then yeah, but their offense has also got to score more than 20 points. And that's been difficult for them. That's not been something that the offense has been able to do a ton and just effectively run it, or effectively run the offense per se. So obviously John Mateer had that injury earlier in the season, came back and didn't look good at all. And it was kind of like, well, maybe that just set him back. And he did get more warmed up towards the end of the season and playing better ball, throwing the ball better, doing more what he was doing at the beginning of the season before he got hurt. But he's going to have to do that tomorrow. Especially with Alabama already losing to Oklahoma early in the season. They want this revenge. This is their revenge game for it. They also want revenge for their bad loss to Georgia and their running game having -3 yards. They want to make, they want to turn that upside down, and they've had 2 weeks to prepare. That's the other thing people have to remember. These teams have 2 weeks to prepare for this. They have film already.
Oklahoma's had even longer to prepare for it.
True. Yeah, true. And so both of these teams already playing each other. They know what the other team can throw at them. They know what the defenses can throw at them, and so what. So it'll be interesting to see who takes advantage on the offensive side, because we both know that this could be a really low-scoring game. But then, hey, come tomorrow, it could be, 42-40 for all we know, and it'd just be the complete opposite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, it's gonna be exciting to see, but I think again it can all turn around fast.
Yeah,
and I think when we had talked about previewing some of the championship games, and we had talked about me and you had a conversation for rivalry week.
Yeah,
back then, and talking about these games.
Mm-hmm.
In my mind, they've got to take this game off of Ty Simpson's shoulders, and they've got to run the ball. They've got to be able to run the ball.
Sure.
You have to be able to do that. Like,
sure.
I think a prime example was against Georgia when they didn't do that. That was a nightmare to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. It was.
Again, Alabama's a good team. We know that,
Mm-hmm.
but -3 yards is not going to cut it tomorrow night. It's not.
Yeah, it won't at all. You can't. That's the thing that I was saying. You can't make Ty Simpson throw the ball 100 times tomorrow against this Oklahoma defense. They're going to make you pay for that. That's exactly what they want you to do. So you can't let that happen if you're Alabama.
And again, we don't know the seriousness of the injury. We don't know how bad it is.
We don't even know if he actually has an injury or not. The man could not be hurt at all, and we're just, this is just a report made up.
Yeah, we don't know. But at the end of the day, we'll see how this all plays out. I'm going to ask your prediction. We'll get both our predictions. How do you think this game plays out? Pick your winner. And
I just want to point out, though, that Seattle just won the game on a walk-off 2-point conversion. They went for it in overtime and got the 2-point conversion. Wide open throw for Sam Darnold, by the way. So big for them and the 1 seed still. But yeah, prediction wise, I per se I think Alabama will revenge this game. I think something, whether it is Ty Simpson being really good throwing the ball, or it's the running game finally getting more live in this game. There's some feeling I feel like that Alabama will find something, or either Oklahoma's defense won't show up as much as maybe what people expected to. I think I don't think Alabama has to score a ton of points either. That's the thing that with this Oklahoma team, I think they could score 21 and win this game easily because of the fact that they could hold Oklahoma.
Yeah, and we were just previewing it. I know we didn't say it much, but we can't forget Alabama's defense. Alabama's got a good squad
exactly
still sitting back there.
Yeah. So I think Alabama wins it. I think it will be a low scoring game, maybe like a 23-16 type of game. Yeah, some kind of, it might not be the most fun to watch game, might be a lot of field goals, but I think something along those lines, and I think Alabama, kind of just slight edge pulls it out.
Yeah. I wanted to take Alabama because, I really wanted to take Alabama. Like, discussing it the past couple of weeks and pondering it. It's just hard for me to take Alabama. And I know it's hard to beat a team twice, but it just slowly feels like this Alabama team has just kind of kept falling further and further down to their potential. And again, Kalen DeBoer can get this team turned around. We know that. But it feels hard. I just don't think I will be able to take Alabama with how they've been playing. And OU offense hasn't been much better. But I just think Oklahoma at home, Norman Field as well. I mean, they're back at Norman. Back in Norman, Oklahoma. I'm going to take OU. I'm going to say 24-20 the final. But I just think Alabama slowly has not been able to get the ground game going. I just don't think it happens against OU. And,
could be,
the past game, it hasn't been much better either. And I feel like I just think OU has a little bit more of an advantage. And if looking at this, I wanted to take Alabama. It's hard to beat a team twice. It really is. But I just can't take Alabama because just how they performed and just how, recently, I feel like recently with the ground game and everything, it's just they don't feel that it's not the same Alabama.
No. And I don't feel like it is either, but I do feel like it can be done. For Alabama specifically, I think Kalen DeBoer can pull it off. I think he'll get his team coached up and ready to go with obviously 2 weeks to prepare. I don't think it'll be much of a problem for them to be ready for this game. But obviously the only college football playoff game tomorrow, a couple other bowl games playing, but then come Saturday we have 3, and it starts at 11 a.m. Probably the worst time for them to play at this stadium just because of the plain and simple fact of how loud it can be. But it'll be Miami and Texas A&M. And it's the game of the two teams that beat Notre Dame this year. That's what people are calling it.
It is.
So it obviously Texas A&M playing at home at the 12th man, and Texas A&M being favored by 3 points right now over Miami. Just a slight edge given, and I think it's mainly because they're playing at home.
Looking at this game, we'll look at all, we'll break down kind of the team-wise. I mean, Miami's defense, one of the best in the country. What they've been able to do, pass defense, run defense. Offensively, they played better. Miami, Carson Beck. And I think one thing that's going to be big in this game, I think, I'm kind of looking at Carson Beck. If he can take care of the football, I think we've seen when he does not take care of that football, I just don't think Miami will be able, I mean, and this is going to sound bad, but I don't think they'll stand a chance if he turns the ball over. If he gets to that point. I'm not saying, one turnover, it's game over, auto end, but
true.
I think in this game, a big factor is going to be how well Carson Beck can take care of the football. Because again, we've seen when he does not take care of the football, it's brutal. It's a nightmare.
Yeah,
exactly. You're going to play a good A&M team.
Mm-hmm.
And momentum's going to be big in this game.
True.
You're playing in front of 100,000 fans at Kyle Field.
Mm-hmm.
That's tough to do. It just is.
Yeah, it'll be tough. I know the Texas A&M fans are really wanted that game to be the late night game, and because then it would even be more electric there. But like you were saying, it's going to be a battle in the trenches. It's going to be offensive line versus defensive line. Miami's defensive line versus Texas A&M's offensive line, and can Texas A&M run the ball, just over and over and pound the ball inside that line just to be able to, to beat Miami? Or is Miami going to force Marcel Reed to make throws and make plays, outside the box? Because that's kind of, if you're Miami, your whole goal here is not to get Texas A&M in that mode of just running it right down the middle or running it just through you all game. Because if Texas A&M gets into that mode of just being able to just run the ball easily, you've seen this year, there's almost no way of stopping them. It becomes so lethal, not just for them to run the ball, but also for them to have the play action pass, or to get Marcel Reed out on a quarterback, draw. Like, it's just those simple things result in big plays when Texas A&M can run the ball effectively. So can Miami stop that, make Marcel Reed throw the ball, which we've seen at some points he's had a little bit of trouble with, like against Texas, for example. But if you can make Marcel Reed throw the ball and make plays on his feet, which he's good at, but with how good the Miami defense is, can they hold him to just doing that and not let their running backs take over the game?
Yeah, and you talk about the Miami defensive line and the Texas A&M line. I want to flip the other way. Let's not forget this Texas A&M defensive line has been elite.
Yeah, definitely.
I think one of the top defensive lines in the country, in my opinion. May not be the best opinion, but I think so. How well can they get Nick Carson Beck? I mean, can they get him off his game? I think Carson Beck is a good quarterback. I don't think there's any denying that whatsoever. But when you get him off his game, get him to turn over the football, make him make throws, they could cause a lot of problems.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the thing too. Like you were saying, it's can Carson Beck keep care of the football? Can he take care of the football throughout the game? And if you're Texas A&M, you want to get him off schedule. You want to get him outside of, outside the box, make him make some throws on the run, or make him make some plays on his feet, something, get him uncomfortable in the pocket, and see if you can force some of those turnovers that we've seen Carson Beck do in these big games. Louisville, he threw 4 picks, should have had a 5th. And then SMU, they had a chance and he threw a pick in overtime. Like, these big games that everybody talks about and everybody says, hey, you got to win these games. We've seen Carson Beck, even when he was at Georgia last year, we've seen him have a little bit of trouble with those games. And so, especially when those teams can get him, outside the pocket or get him off schedule, and his feet start getting a little quick, his eyes start getting a little quick, and he starts making some of those throws where, probably shouldn't have done that. Probably it wasn't the best read. So if Texas A&M can do that, they could control this game however they want to.
Yeah, and the thing, if you're Miami, you've got to start fast and you've got to get ahead of the game. You cannot. The crowd's going to be a big factor in this game.
Sure.
You cannot let them get in it so early. Snap counts are going to be important. Everything's got to be on cue, on time. You got to know where you're going. Basic things, you've got to get out ahead of the game, though. If you're not able to get out ahead early and you're having to play from behind, and if you don't get any momentum, it's going to be hard to come back.
True.
Again, I look at Carson Beck. I think Carson Beck is very capable of leading Miami to playoff wins.
For sure.
But I think I'm looking at him and going, okay, can we take care of the football? Again, when he does not take care of the football, it's not good. We've seen it this year plenty of times. They said he had the 4 interception game. Should have been 5. If he takes care of the football, Miami could very well win this game.
I think the key name for Miami is Malachi Tony.
Definitely.
Can you put the ball in his hands as many times as possible? I think that should be the goal for Miami. If you can put it in Malachi Tony's hands more than enough times, say 15 times, even if it's, let's say you run jet sweeps, or obviously he's great downfield and he gets wide open on those deep balls, or something. Even if it's short throws, he can make so many plays. Can you just get it to him? That should be their goal. And obviously Texas A&M knows that. They're going to guard him. They're going to double team him. They're going to leave a safety over top. They're not going to try to get beat on those deep routes. And Texas A&M's going to do that. But I feel like if you are Miami and you can get that ball to Malachi Tony as many times as possible, you can control this game. If, say, Carson Beck doesn't throw any interceptions, it's just it'll be interesting to see. It'll be a tough game. It'll be a fun one to watch for sure. We'll be paying attention to it. Obviously, the start of college football playoff on Saturday for those games. So it'll be a fun one to watch. Who do you think is going to win that game?
I mean, I'm looking at this and I'm making this decision solely based off home field. And I mean, there's a lot of other factors, but I have to take A&M.
Yeah.
I mean, the 100,000 fans at Kyle Field, it's brutal. But I look at this.
Yeah.
I think this defensive line of A&M is going to be a big factor in this game. I think they're going to cause a problem.
True.
I think they'll get in the backfield. I think they'll disrupt Carson Beck and get him out of his rhythm. I think this defense knows very well they'll keep Malachi Tony in check. And, I just think A&M with the home field, I think with the defensive line, I think they'll rattle Carson Beck. I think they'll be able to come away with this game. But, again, I would not be surprised if Miami walks in there and beats A&M. But I'm going to take A&M.
No,
I'm going to go honestly with like I'm going to say like 38-33.
Yeah, I feel like I kind of have to go the same way. And maybe we're both wrong here, and Miami wins this game and makes it easy per se. But I kind of have to go with A&M because first, yes, they play at home, and it's going to be, I think it'll be a little tough, even though we all know that Carson Beck has played in these tough environments, obviously being in the SEC last year, and he knows what they're like. So I don't think he will be rattled at all. But at the same time, I think it's kind of like what I was saying. If Texas A&M can get Carson Beck off schedule from the beginning of the game, whether it's the crowd that does it, whether it's the defense that does it, something. And like you were saying, their defensive line is great. If they can get him kind of, antsy in the pocket, this game can be easily won by Texas A&M. And I think the other thing you look at here is if you're Texas A&M, you don't just want to win this game. You lost your last game of the season to your rival in Texas, and that ended your undefeated season. You're coming home to play a playoff game to then go on to play Ohio State. You want this game. You want to win this game. And I think Texas A&M will do everything they possibly can to get Marcel Reed to make as many plays as he can, to get the ball to Concepcion as many times as they possibly can, or Craver, or any, and then run the ball with Owens or Bethel. They're going to run the ball as many times as possible. They're going to just try to make it between their offensive line and Miami's defensive line, and they're going to basically say, we're going to go toe-to-toe with you with your best thing, and we're going to beat you. And I think that's the mindset if you're Texas A&M. You go, we have a great offensive line. We know what we can do. Let's see what you can do. And I feel like it'll be a close one. It'll be a close one. I don't know if I'll go as high scoring. I mean, I'll go close. I say Texas A&M wins it barely on a field goal, 33-30.
Yeah,
I think it's a close game. It's a tight one down to the wire.
I think so. It's going to be a huge game, and again, we'll see when we get there. Saturday at 11 Central Time.
Can I make the assumption that I think it'll come down the stretch where Carson Beck throws a pick, and then Texas A&M wins it a field goal? I don't know.
Heartbreaking, maybe. But that'd be heartbreaking, but I also wouldn't be surprised either. So
I mean, I'm not. Who knows? Carson Beck could go through for 400 yards. It's very possible. He's a good enough quarterback to do it. But we'll see what goes on there. And then the next game of Saturday, the second one here, obviously it's a rematch, and kind of just like Alabama, Oklahoma as well. Tulane, Ole Miss, and honestly, I know probably after the Texas A&M Miami game, most people will probably be like, well, I mean, the two other games of the day don't have much to them. There's really no reason to watch them, or whatever. The two group of 5 teams are going to get blown out. They're not going to make much of a chance here. But I do think this game in particular is going to be a fun one to watch, and it's going to be an interesting one to watch for many reasons. First of all, obviously Ole Miss at home in Oxford at the Grove. They're getting they're 17.5 point favorites over a team that they played earlier in the season and whooped them. And it'll be interesting to see because they had Lane Kiffin then. They don't have him now. What does that do in particular? They have their OC in DC, yes. But does it kind of change there? What's the? I think they come out with a lot of energy in that case because they don't have Lane Kiffin. I think they come out with more energy than what they. I mean, I don't know. I can't say what they would have if they did have him, but they come out with a lot, and they have something to prove now because they go, hey, head coach left, because he didn't think, well, he must not have thought we could win a national championship here, so we're gonna go try to show him that. But at the same time, Tulane will make adjustments. This game, I think, will 100% be closer than what it was the first time they played. John Summerall is a good enough coach to do it. He's going to make adjustments. He has seen more tape on Chambliss. That's the other thing. That was only Chambliss' second start when they played them. He's seen more tape on Chambliss. This team's better than what they were at the beginning of the season. I think they could easily cover that 17.5 points, whether it's even 17 points they lose by. I think they do cover it. I think it is close. And I think it's an interesting game, not just on the particular take of a college football game, but I think it's to see what does Ole Miss look like in particular. Do they come out hot and then kind of stutter, and sputter out towards the end, but still win this game? Or do they just blow straight through them and just say, hey, we're here for a national championship and that's what we can do and we believe it? Or does Tulane pull off the, incredible upset and kind of get Ole Miss on its heels of, well, we lost our coach and, now we're kind of, maybe this isn't, we're not the same team without him. Could that happen? Is there a chance of that happening?
I think there is. And I mean, I know I saw some stuff. What's going on with the Chambliss situation? I know somebody can you enlighten me on that a little bit? I know, I can't. I don't know exactly what I saw, but I don't know if it was a rumor or something that's saying he might not even play in the game, or I don't know what I saw.
I couldn't tell you. I don't think. I think he's playing. I don't think there's any reason he shouldn't play. I don't feel like this would be this is his last year. It's not like he's gonna not play.
It's probably one of those things we saw like irrelevant either way. It's probably one of those things like with like the not the Kalen DeBoer and Penn State thing. Like
true.
Like, but anyway, I think I want to go to the point that was interesting to see with Lane Kiffin not being there.
Yeah,
a big guy, and I think a big thing is going to be a statement game.
Yeah,
Ole Miss wants to prove a point. Their coach said, "Hey, may not be able to win a national championship here, but wish you all the best." And then look at Jon Sumrall and Tulane. The team's going to make adjustments. I think a solid group of 5 school.
Oh, definitely.
And I think, I think they're better than before. I think it'll be a closer game than before. Sure. I disagree with the people saying it'd be a 35-point game. I don't think that's the case.
Yeah.
And obviously people may say that just to be proven a point of some sort, but I think Tulane's going to come out better. I think they'll play a better game. I think they'll definitely cover the spread. Ole Miss, though, I think obviously overall I think will be the better team, but I think it'll be closer than before. I think Jon Sumrall will lead a Tulane team, and Jake Retzlaff
that's the I would say for Tulane, that is the key point for them. Can you get Retzlaff to make as many plays as possible? That if he can not turn over the ball, if he can make the throws that we've seen him make, if he can make the plays on his feet that we've seen him make, if Tulane has any chance of winning this football game, it's because Retzlaff plays amazing. He plays great, and we've seen it from him. He can do it. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the nation, and just he can do it. He has all the ability to be able to do it and go out there and make this Ole Miss defense kind of stand back and go, oh, whoa, we're kind of being pushed back a little bit here. So he has all the tools to be able to do it. And if Tulane wants to win, they have to make sure that Retzlaff is on point, is on target, is on time. And I think if you're Ole Miss, that's the way you easily win this football game, is that if you can get Retzlaff to make bad decisions, and kind of make him to just get him off tempo and kind of disrupt him in any way you possibly can. I also think the other thing for Ole Miss is to give it, obviously, to Kewan Lacey. We've seen every team try to stop him, and it's basically impossible this year. So even with the best defensive lines, if they can give him the ball a ton, he can easily run through Tulane in just his own right. So I think for Ole Miss, it's can you get him going, but also you look at Tulane side and go, well, can you limit him from doing those things? If you can limit him, then you've got a great chance at least to stay in this ball game for the longest time. If not, you're going to be down really quick, like we kind of saw when Ole Miss played Mississippi State. You can get down really quick, and it's just it never quite get back into this game.
Yeah. Again, we'll see what happens.
True.
Will Ole Miss win? Most definitely, most likely. But I think it'll be a closer game than before. So
for sure. I think it'll be. I think it'll cover. And I'll ask you a question here in just a minute. But then the last game to finish Saturday off and the first round of the playoffs is obviously James Madison and Oregon. I think this is kind of the game that most people say will probably just turn off the TV. I don't think most people are looking at this game as much, but who knows? Who knows? Obviously, Oregon hosting and being in Autzen and obviously having home field advantage, and as good of a team as they are, they're 20.5-point favorites. So be it. Makes sense. James Madison hasn't beaten a Power 4 team all year. Did not. The only team that they played was Louisville, and they lost to them by 4 points. Now, I got to give James Madison credit. They are a good football team. They have players, they have guys, and, and all of that. But you also are playing an Oregon team who's getting some wide receivers back, potentially. And Dante Moore as their quarterback. You're also playing at their home. It's going to be
flash flood warning, flash flood watch.
True, I did see that. It might pour down rain Saturday night, so maybe that gives James Madison a little more of a chance. But at the same time, I don't know, man. I would love for James Madison to at least cover, or at least keep this game close for a little while. I think they have the ability to. But at the same time, man, if Oregon gets back some of their wide receivers that they've been missing due to injury, and if Dante Moore can be as good as we've seen him, and that's the question, can he, if he does get some of these receivers back, does he look that good? Does he look as accurate and quick on his feet? Everything that we've seen this year from him, does he look that good or not? And if so, I don't even know if James Madison can cover the 20 points. 20 and a half. It'll be difficult. But again, Bob Chesney is going to have his team ready to go. They've had 2 weeks. Well, they've had basically a week because they played in the conference championship game. But, two. And they've had 2 weeks to prepare. They're going to be looking at this game. They know what's coming. They know what is here to play. They know what they're going up against. I know the James Madison Instagram is, media team is probably the best in the CFP. Let's be honest, all right. They've fired some shots, all right. They know what team they have playing for them in the purple and gold,
and they know what Dan Lanning's record is against purple and gold teams as well.
They do.
They make sure to include that there.
They do. Oregon did pull off that win against Washington this year, though. That kind of solidified that, but. Yeah, they do know that they definitely know. Those James Madison fans, media, whatever, back up their team for as much as possible. And who knows? Maybe Bob Chesney gets his team ready. They'll be ready to go, but can they stick in this game for as long as possible? If they want a chance, they have to keep this game close. I mean, you get now. Hey. So be it. If you get this Oregon team kind of on their feet, maybe just kind of slow them down. If it is a pouring down rain game, and you can get this Oregon team to kind of just sputter a little bit. Maybe Dante Moore can't throw the ball as much as he wants to because it's pouring down rain. Maybe it's kind of a muddy in the trenches kind of game, and James Madison can pull off a couple of stops and keep this game to 7 points going into the fourth quarter or something. Maybe you get this Oregon team kind of caught off guard. Maybe that's your best chance you got, is you kind of get them, whoa, maybe we're not supposed to be in this situation, kind of like we were saying with Tulane, Ole Miss. Maybe you kind of go, wait, this isn't where we're supposed to be. But at the same time, man, you can't really go up. It's hard to go up against Dan Lanning when he's got the squad. I mean, he's got a good enough team to go win a national championship. And he thinks that, and I know they think that. And I think if Dan Lanning doesn't like to play around with these games where people think, well, maybe they could hang in. They're not a good team, but maybe they could hang in. Dan Lanning likes to put that just outside. Just throw it in the garbage and go beat this team by 45 for all we could see. And it could easily happen.
I'll be the first to say I'm kind of interested to watch this game. I really am.
It's going to be an interesting game.
It may not seem exciting to a lot of people, but to me, I think it could be an interesting one. True. Obviously, Oregon, True. Should they blow the doors off JMU?
Definitely.
They should. Definitely. But I don't know, man. It's just a little feeling that maybe, I don't know, just having a weird feeling that maybe JMU will compete in this game.
Yeah.
I don't know. For some reason, I'm very interested to watch the game and see where it all plays out.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oregon should dominate this game. Dante Moore, the receivers, but with a flash flood watch in effect. How does that play a factor in this game?
True.
I'm interested to watch it. And you broke it all down really well. Dan Lanning's not like to mess with that talk. Mm-hmm. But I tell you what, I wouldn't be the least bit of shocked if they cover the spread, let alone compete in the game for a while.
True. They easily could. And obviously, being Chesney's potential last game at JMU, looking forward to Napier being their next head coach, maybe that brings a little bit of fire. And same with Summerall, moving on to Florida next year, and this could be potentially his last game at Tulane. Those two teams, maybe there's a little bit of fire because of that too. Who knows? I do want to ask the question though, because obviously I think we both have Ole Miss and Oregon winning those games. But if you could pick a team out of those two, of Tulane or James Madison, that you could think could either at least cover the spread or potentially win the game, which one would you take?
Dang, man, you really stumped me with that one. It's a tough one to choose. Like,
yeah,
I feel like it'd be easy to say Tulane because of who they've played and whatnot, but I don't know. I feel like JMU can, and again, I think the weather being a factor in that game. I feel like JMU could put something into effect and play well.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. In my mind, this is a crazy take. It definitely will be crazy, but I'm gonna say JMU. I really am. It's crazy. I know it's insane.
Like you said, the rain could cause a factor here. This could be a 27-20 game. They still cover though. They lose by 20 points. It could easily happen.
Yeah, it's crazy take for sure. It's a bold one to say that, but yeah. I don't know. In my mind, I just feel it's just a weird feeling. I think the weather's going to play an effect.
Sure.
I think JMU proves a point in this game, and I say that because again, they've gotten to talk. They haven't played a good Power 4 team. They can't compete with anybody.
Yeah.
I think they kind of have to make a statement too, and say, "Hey, we can."
True.
And with my gut, I'm going to say JMU.
Hey, stick to it, man. Stick to it, and we'll see what comes to be if that happens. If that does happen, again, weather could play a big factor there. They have to only lose by 20 points. They can cover. Mm-hmm. So with James Madison, they're a good enough football team. It's just you're going up against a really, really great football team.
A really good Oregon.
Yeah, and
very dang good Oregon.
And like I said, a coach, Bob Chesney, hoping the best at UCLA. But you're going to be playing Dan Lanning next year, so you know it, and you've seen what Dan Lanning can do, and he doesn't mess around with these kind of small games. So
he does.
Again, it's going to be tough, but weather, if it pours down rain and it gets wet and muddy out there, they could easily at least just cover the 20 points, the 20 and a half.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to pick one, it's going to be Tulane. No bias with John Summerall going to Florida, but I would love to see it happen. I just think, though, with the fact that they have played this year and Tulane already seeing Ole Miss once and having film, and obviously Chambliss having a whole season of film as well for Tulane to look at, and this Tulane team to kind of maybe have a little bit of that fire with Summerall potentially leaving. I think all of that kind of plays into the mix of they can keep it, and the fact that Lane Kiffin's not there. That's why I mentioned it earlier, that could Tulane get them kind of like on their heels to the fact of, hey, Lane Kiffin's not there. I just want to let y'all know, Lane Kiffin's not your coach anymore. I know you might have all your hope, and you might totally be backed.
He invited him to the game too, man.
He did, and I thought that was hilarious. I don't know if he's actually going. He easily could. He was in Oxford just yesterday.
That'd be funny. If you look at the press box, there he is just standing there.
That's
awesome.
I mean, it's a Summerall-led Tulane team with Retzlaff at quarterback. Can they look at Ole Miss and go, hey, Lane Kiffin's not your coach anymore? And as much as you might be backing Weiss right now, you might love him, and he might be the future, great head coach for Ole Miss. but Lane Kiffin's not there, and could Tulane do that to them? I don't know. I think there's a chance, and I think that's why if I had to take a team to at least cover, I think Tulane of the two teams has the best to potentially maybe pull off the crazy upset. But at the same time, I think the cover of 17.5 for them, I think, is totally in view, and is something that I think could happen. But obviously, we'll come to see. I mean, we have a ton of obviously those 4 playoff games to watch, and we will be watching them. We will be watching the JMU Oregon game. Game through for sure.
I will.
Won't skip that one. Yeah, definitely. It won't skip any of those games. I'll definitely be watching the Tulane Ole Miss game. So, we'll watch all of them. We'll see what happens. Also, the fact that you've got a couple of bowl games tomorrow playing that I obviously kind of want to keep in mind as well. 2 conference champions, just want to mention them real quick. 2 conference champions playing in a bowl game tomorrow, Kennesaw State and Western Michigan. And then the other game right after that game, obviously Memphis, NC State. Both of those games leading up to Alabama, Oklahoma. First playoff game. I just want to mention the Kennesaw State, Western Michigan game starts at 10 a.m., not 11, starts at 10, so early. But it'll be interesting to watch. Great day of football tomorrow, great day of football on Saturday, and then that'll see what we get come in the second round, and that'll be even more interesting.
Yeah.
But, do you have anything else to quickly cover? Anything else you want to bring up before we end here?
None today. I think we're all good. We'll definitely come Monday. We'll definitely react to the weekend's games. College basketball as always. Yeah. Usually we cover the NHL bracket look on Thursdays. This was a big topic of discussion. I plan on at least getting a hockey video out tomorrow night.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go over the playoff picture, something brief. But other than that, I'm ready to watch these bowl games and these playoff games. I think a lot's in store. Big one tomorrow night, and the big ones over the weekend, and I think something to be definitely very excited for.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Obviously got a ton of great college football to watch, but then have a ton of great college basketball games to watch. If you don't know about which ones to watch, go back to our last podcast and listen to what games we like. And then obviously NFL. We talked about this over this podcast, and you got that this weekend, and to seal kind of some of the deals for who plays in the playoff. But, come Monday, we'll go over some of that stuff. Might even go over a little bit of NFL because next Thursday is Christmas. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what's going on over the weekend and what potential news everywhere in all sports could potentially go down. And, make sure you check us out and follow us on all our platforms. Never forget to do that. Instagram,
Spotify,
TikTok, whatever.
Apple Music.
And then
Amazon Music. YouTube.
For sure.
We have Instagram, TikTok.
Yeah, so follow us on all those. And, we'll see you on Monday.
Yes, we will. We'll see y'all.